My name is Sister Eleanor Berret. I've been in the Retiro approximately 48 years. There was a period of time when I was away for 2 years caring for a parent. And then, although that wasn't counted as being away because I'd come back every month. But after that, I just knew I wasn't ready to come back, so I stayed out and did home health work in the Camden, New Jersey area. I was attracted to contemplative life before I ever entered the convent. I think I grew up with it because my aunt was a secular Dominican, and she played school and church and nun with us when we were little. And we have all these pictures of when we were dressed up and taught. And it was just something that I loved. And St. Teresa's Little Flower is one of my favorite saints. And I read whatever I could about her, and just wanted to emulate her spirit, even though it wasn't Franciscan, you know. And when I entered our community, our congregation, in 1968, I remember hearing about the Retiro, and it was called the Cloister at the time. And I said to myself, someday I'm going to be there. But I never knew when or how that would come about. And I taught school for 5 or 6 years. And then after final profession, I requested to go to the Retiro. And I was delighted. But the summer before that, when I was in the Retiro, I kept thinking the sisters were going to say, Eleanor, you can stay. But it was just as well that it didn't happen, because my parents wouldn't have been prepared for that right away, you know. But they were delighted afterwards, and they came to visit. What I liked most about the Retiro, what drew me, was the prayer, the quiet, the garden outside, just walking around and praying in the garden and digging in the garden, and just letting life come alive, and just spreading that out in some way, letting God do the spreading. Like, you know, you take and you just throw seeds, let God throw those seeds out to the hearts of those who are longing to know Him. So I guess that was my experience for a number of years. And at one point, I went home to care for my dad when he was ill. Well, he was old, and then he was ill. And I was there for maybe a year and a half, but I would come back. He bought a car so I could come back once a month for a weekend. And my brother would stay at home and look after Dad. And when he died, I wasn't ready to return. And so I asked if I could stay for a year. And I was still coming back and forth to the Retiro, so I was still a member, but I was absent 3 weeks out of the month. But after that time, I knew that I still wasn't ready. And so I actually left the Retiro, and I was gone for, I think, a year and a half. And I got a job as a home health aide in New Jersey, and I loved it. And the contemplative spirit never left my heart. You know, I was still able to take time for prayer and pray with the people that I was ministering with and ministering to. And when it came time for me to return, I was ready. And I came, and I said to Rosemary, you know, I'm ready, but I might not be ready to go to the Retiro. I might need to calm down a bit. And so I lived at St. John's for a year, and this was another year that I was not in the Retiro. And again, I got a home health aide work, and that was my ministry. And I would pray with the people, and I was still able to carry on a ministry of prayer, and yet my heart was longing. And when the time came, I I requested to return to the Retiro and live in community with my sisters. And it's something, but you become like family to one another. You know, you truly are sisters to one another, and the prayer goes out to all people, and the letters I get or the telephone calls asking for prayer speak to my heart that God is calling or is inviting me to just go deeper and deeper and be free. And I share that with people that are sad or sick or afraid, to call on God, to be with God, to take some time, and let God work in them and through them. It's not living contemplatively, so to speak, but it's they're not called to that, but they are called to prayer and to relationship with God. So there are simple ways of sharing that.